Alright, since I'm getting relatively close to finishing off Sherly, I might as well show the base I have and what I've done to it, and kind of do an overview. Mainly because in the next 2, maybe 3 days, around Wednesday or Thursday, I should have the done video up for Sherly. I need to wait for the beads that I ordered to come in, and I need to finish up the little hair piece, the little hair floof pieces that go on top, that go on both sides of her head. And once I get the beads in to build the necklace and get those done, she's pretty much complete. But I'm going to do an overview of the base here and at least have something up to advertise the people that actually care. So as you can tell, I have some pretty god dang, sensitive lights. And of course I want to have some type of lighting system for Sherly, so I found these cheap LEDs off of Amazon. If I can remember the company, I'll actually show you. This is the company I got the LEDs from, of course off Amazon. I'll have a link to these in the description below because these are fairly reactive LEDs and I am very impressed with them. But there are some modifications I would like to do, or I would like the company to do, but that's not what this video is about. So yeah, as you can tell, I hooked up the LEDs to where they're just on the sides right here. With the way they're designed, you can just easily cut this little copper tab and then just attach or detach them like I did right here, and work just fine. So let me actually show you what these actually act like when music's playing. As you can tell, they sometimes hit the proper beats and sometimes they don't. Now as you can tell, I actually have the mic right down here. I actually removed it from the little casing that this used to be in, and I basically extended the wire that way so I can use it instead of just on Sherly. I can actually add those LEDs to something else because I actually have the roll right here. This is a 16-foot roll, so I got a lot more LEDs to work with down the road. So yeah. So when it comes to actually how I have everything set up, let me flip this thing over. Here's the actual control board, and here's a little breakout box for the mic. As you can tell, I'm using an aux jack. That is because I also set this thing up so I can have a hard line. I just gotta extend that hard line a little bit and tweak it some because it's not 100% accurate yet still. And as you can tell, this right now is just plugged into the wall. I am planning to eventually make it so these LEDs run off a battery pack, but since we're not going to go to a convention this year, I can hold off on this for a while. And if I do get a 3-cell lithium, which is a 12-volt battery, I'll probably end up putting that battery somewhere back here or somewhere over here because this whole area is nice and free. While this area is just clustered with wiring and whatnot. I want to try and clean this area up down the road, but again, right now we're not going to a convention, so I'm not too concerned. The only thing I really want to get situated is the hard line to the LEDs. That way, so I can get a direct line to the music instead of just having to run off the mic. And since I actually want to use these LEDs on other things other than Sherly, I do have it set up so I can easily pop this off and fully unsnake this out of Sherlys Base. And then place this mic anywhere I want in my room or wherever, and I can still get the same effect. The reason why I added the cone is so it can be a bit more precise when it comes to its music and whatnot. So let's see. I think I can set the I think I can set up the hard wire and show you what it's like. Oh yeah, and I also forgot to show the inside. Here's the actual Bluetooth transmitter I'm using, and of course here are the back of the two speakers I'm using. These are just two surround sound speakers from my dead surround sound system that died. Here is the actual optional hard line that I can use instead of just using the mic. And the reason why I want to use a hard line is because, like I stated, it will be a lot more accurate and it will be a lot more consistent. The problem is that if I use this hard line, I can blow out I can actually blow out the little box because it gets overwhelmed with the amount of, with basically the loudness of the volume that's going to it. So in a way to reduce this problem, I add two little resistors right here, which are those two little things, both on the positive and negative. That way, so I can reduce the amount of voltage going directly to the control box. Now these do work, but I need to get some resistors that are even lower. These are for red LEDs, which are like 2 to 3 volts. Probably what I need is about a volt and a half resistor. That way, so I can go full max with the volume without actually blowing out the controller and whatnot. Because if I do that, the LEDs will either just go full bright all the time, or they'll just not respond at all. That's what I mean by just them getting completely overwhelmed. So I'm going to snake this thing around and see if I can get this thing set up in a way to where I can show you how the hardline reacts. I don't know if you can tell or not, but I got the hardline plugged in. You can see the LEDs are being a bit more reactive. That is due to the feedback that the thing is getting from the Bluetooth amplifier inside here. So, one of the other reasons why I picked this thing up is because the thing can be controlled via Bluetooth. And as you can also tell, I can change the sensitivity of the mic. Well, this time technically the direct line input. Now the reason why I want to do that is so I don't actually blow out the control box. So I have to set it to the lowest it can go, and including with the resistors that you saw, is just enough to where I can't blow out the LEDs when I go full max. But when I go full max, they're not as responsive as they used to be. So again, let's play the same song and see what happens. Let me first turn down the volume slightly. As you can tell, since they're now getting a direct feed from the audio jack of my, or not the audio jack, but from the Bluetooth amplifier, the LEDs are a lot more responsive and a lot more accurate to the actual song that's being played. And obviously I'm not going to play anything across because I want this video to actually be seen by people. I'll most likely take the risk when I go to do the official done video, and I'll to probably hold off on a little while before I publish it to fight some stupid bull crap. But as you can tell, the LEDs are are definitely a nice little addition. I just gotta again find 1 volt or 1.5 volt resistors. That way, so when I go full volume, they can still be about as reactive as around this. Actually, when I go full volume, I want them to be this reactive. Can you autofocus onto your stupid box, you camera? So that's pretty much where I'm at. So what I'm going to do after I'm done with this video is I'm going to go outside into the shed and I'm going to spray paint this little area spray paint this area matte black, and I'm going to also spray paint this matte black too, that way so it can be as hidden as possible. Most likely you'll be able to see the respray paint due to where I'm doing it, but hopefully I can do it in a way to where it's hidden, but I highly doubt it. So yeah. Oh yeah, there is one more thing I will be doing, and that'll be for the rest of the night, and that's playing Macross 30 on my computer. Sadly though, I have to play it with my NVIDIA GPU instead of my AMD GPU because reasons. So yeah. Don't tell me you're gonna get stuck. Also, another thing I'll be doing is playing Macross 30. It's finally at a semi-playable state, though it seems to run a little bit more better when you're using an but a NVIDIA GPU. The reason why I'm not using this thing is because this thing's too old. My RX 580 is just enough to where it can get the game to run at an okay-ish frame rate, but there's a lot of graphical glitching and whatnot. But it is technically playable. And if I actually exit out, I can go to one of my other previous saves. Here's one of my more previous saves. If you actually played Macross 30, you kind of know where I am. I'm hovering in the very, very low 20s. I may occasionally get to 30 FPS, but this emulator is still massive, and it's still a massive work in progress. But the fact that Macross 30 is at this point is is definitely nice. And if I bump to the 2D sections of the game, it kind of runs okay-ish, but it still also runs in the 20s. And one other thing I've noticed is that not every single time I load this game, the actual screen, the little video you get at the very beginning, doesn't always load. But it does manage to play the game okay-ish to an extent at least. So I'm going to muddle through this and see how far I can get.